Good morning. This week I'm back over in the North Pennines and we're going to be doing the Cow Green Geo Trail, 8-mile circular, and as well as being one of my favourite routes of all time, it also includes my favourite waterfall, Cauldron Snout. So here's your start point, Cow Green Reservoir car park. And look at that, still some snow on the tops. So the first couple of miles of this route has got you walking down the road that you drove up to get to the car park. You can go clockwise or anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise, it'll take you straight down to Cauldron Snout, no distance at all. Look at that sunrise, that's class. The clockwise route, which I've always did it, you go around the Geo Trail and hit the waterfall at the end. For this one we're going to do clockwise again. Did not think I was going to get a fiery sunrise this morning. The very first video I uploaded to the Peak Climber UK channel was actually the final section of this route. The big finale, Cauldron Snout waterfall. I probably only had the camera like a day or two and I didn't have a clue what I was doing as regards to like editing. The settings were all pants and I just kind of filmed myself climbing up the side of the waterfall for 4 or 5 minutes. And that was it. And it always bothered us. Every time I would pass that video it would annoy us because I felt like I hadn't done it justice. This, in my opinion, is probably the best waterfall in England. It's definitely my favourite and it deserved a full video. The whole route's brilliant, it's one of my favourites. So I always planned on coming back here, and a couple of months ago I deleted the original footage from the channel, so I knew I had to come back and do it again. And with all the rain that we've had during the week, I'm under no illusions down here it's going to be absolutely powering this waterfall. This road goes on for quite a bit, but you've got views. Eventually after a couple of miles we'll go right at Langton Beck and that'll take us onto the actual Geo Trail towards that rocky outcrop there. Once you pass this barn on your left, that's your right there. That's onto the Geo Trail. From here out the walk starts to get really interesting. The bull situation normally is nothing to worry about. There's some big heifers in this field. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they aren't. There's been times in the summer where I've come across and they've been literally lying across the path with calves and I've walked straight through them, no issues at all. Fingers crossed that's the case today and I didn't get kicked up a height. So this is our route here, just following this road down past that barn, past them buildings, and we'll join the River Tees. Can't see any cows or bulls today. Maybe they've been locked away for the bad weather or something, I don't know. They don't really bother us, but I am pretty wary sometimes of them. You hear these horror stories where it's like Rambler trampled to death by cattle and it puts the skits in you a bit, because if they start charging in an open area like this, it's a carry distance to get to over the fence before they get out of the top of you. I don't know how fast cows are. Are they faster than people? They'll be faster than me. Do not let that sign fool you. 2 miles to the waterfall doesn't sound like an awful long way, but once we get down here onto the river, the terrain's going to get significantly trickier. These guys do a fantastic job of maintaining the area. Cows have got to be around here. Honks of shade. So we've joined the River Tees and we're going to follow it up here and around and eventually to the waterfall. That to me is a good indicator that this waterfall is going to be raging, because 99% of the time I've come here it's been a lot calmer than this, so it's looking good. As well as the first video, this was actually the very first walk I did. Must have been about 4 years ago now. I didn't know what happened to us. I was approaching 34-year-old and I just had this like overwhelming urge to go out and be active, to start looking after myself as I was getting older. And I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't fancy doing out like that, pumping iron, becoming some type of meathead. I wanted to be outside, and I mentioned it to a guy that I work with, Tall Paul. Big shout Paul, he always watches the videos, and he'd done some walking with his dad over in the lakes, places like this. He recommended this place to us, and the plan was that me and Jordan were going to do it together. She quickly realised that this type of walking wasn't for her. You come to some boulders a little bit further on, she tripped over, twisted her ankle, bruised it to death, and that pretty much put her off. She prefers coastal walks, things like that. But this changed my life, this area here. Once I saw these, High Cup Neck, Crossfell, over that way, that was me hooked. 4 years down the line, climbed some of the biggest mountains in England, you know what I mean? It's something I'll never get bored of. This area is brilliant, and if I can do it, anyone can. I used to smoke like a chimney, drank heavily right up until Christmas, and you don't have to be super fit to be coming out here and doing this. Not these type of walks when there's no scrambling around. So I've got a lot of time for this place, and I've probably been over here 6 or 7 times, never get sick of it. So cheers to Tall Paul for setting us on the path. Like, see this here? This is not normally here, this is a path. So you can see how waterlogged and boggy it's going to be. It's exactly why I've put the scarpers and the gaiters on. I wouldn't usually use the scarpers for a walk like this any other time of year, but this is going to be knee deep in boggy shite. Love it. We've now come to the infamous boulders where that clumsy oaf Jordan fell. There's real potential to get in here. The water's right up on the bank. Normally you've got a lot more land to be walking, so it's very narrow. You've got to take your time on these, because they stop and start pretty much right round to the waterfall now. Didn't fall, Lee. This is what you'll get. Runs like a path, boulders, runs, path, bog, runs, boulders, water, death. See these, man? These are absolutely slippy as ice. You're literally climbing across them. Jesus Christ. These are so slippy, so slippy. If they were dry, you could probably just bounce across them. Proper ankle breakers these. Kind of path here, but it just kind of runs out. Blasted rocks. You fucker. Successfully navigated the boulder field. There's more, but not as fiddly as that. bastard things. As the river gets stronger, you get fooled into thinking the waterfall's closer than it is. You've got to go around multiple bends. You'll hear it before you see it. That there's good to drink. Drank it before. Tasty. More rocks. Just got to watch where you're putting your feet. Quite often along this bit here, you'll see dead sheep. And what's happened is, big boulders come off the top of there, hit the sheep, kill the dead. Something comes off the top of there and hits you. Game over, Jackie. Past this current carney here, leading the way. Right. So Cauldron Snout should be right around that bend. I'd imagine I'd start to hear it very shortly. I can just start to hear the waterfall now. I'm hoping that I'm getting here early enough. 99% of the time I've had this waterfall to myself. That's why I love it so much. You get nowhere near as many people as like High Force or Earsgar Falls, which I've did videos on previously. But I can only start at sunrise. Usually I'll be on my way home now. So fingers crossed, it's quiet. That's not Cauldron Snout. This is Cauldron Snout. England's longest waterfall. Technically not a waterfall, it's defined as a cascade. What we'll do now is scramble up the side of it and it gets even more impressive. What you do this weekend, Lee? I don't know. Just climb up the side of a waterfall. Let's go up and have a look. I have never seen that like this. Best time I have ever had over here. We've been up here, like, Mr. Blot. Killer them steps. Jumpers. So you've got Cow Green Reservoir here. And with all the water that's been coming down, it's overflowing, and we'll have a look over this side. Whew! Killer! I'll wrap this one up now because I've got about a mile or so left, but it's just walking over the moors back to the car. Normally you get some pretty good views over there towards Crossfell, Great Dunfell, Little Dunfell, Knockfell, all the fells, all the Pennine big lads are over there, but we cannot see them. Loved it, love this walk. I'll never ever get sick of this walk. Although I do most of my walking by myself these days, I have had a few people messages asking if I could take them out and stuff, but I prefer to be by myself. However, if I was going to take anyone, I would take them on this walk to introduce them to it, because it's the absolute boy. Got some pretty exciting news tomorrow. We're going to be hopefully finding out the gender of the baby, so you never know, 3 or 4 years time I might have a little amigo with us out walking, and this will be the first place I take the kid to introduce it to the mountains and wilderness and all that type of shit. So I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Now I'm going home.